For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So says Jesus in Matthew 6:21. Now, a word you hear in the church sometimes is stewardship. But what does that mean? It means acting in a way that honors the gifts you've been given in your life. Everything we have is from God. Our family, our faith, our friends, our money, our time, our talents. Everything, all of that, how we deal with that is stewardship. Even think of some of our church life. Volunteering for a ministry or a camp or in the office or in the kitchen or anything else, all of that is a kind of stewardship. And in the same way, how we deal with the money that's been entrusted to us is a kind of stewardship. I love that little story about a boy, and he's going to Sunday school, and he's got 2 nickels, and one is for the collection plate, and one is for going to the candy store afterwards. And as he's going, he trips and falls, and his money goes up in the air, and it comes down, and one of those quarters goes down the drainage grate. And he slowly looks up to the heavens, and he says, "Well, God, there goes your nickel." We often don't talk about money in the church. Now, why is that? I think it's for a few reasons. One, because it's a touchy subject in general in the world. Second, we don't know how it works, and sometimes we're afraid to ask, and sometimes we don't want to be asked. But a church that is healthy talks about stewardship and money. Not only that, but Jesus talked about money and possessions more than any other subject except the kingdom of God. And so, it's vital. The point of this little video is simply to show how money works in the church. But the first thing we need to do is show how money doesn't work in the church. So here's our church. Here's some head office somewhere. And some people think that the church can operate because the head office simply sends money whenever we need it. That's wrong. So if that isn't how it works, how does it work? Well, basically, a group of people gathered together as followers of Jesus, and they decide to be a part of a local church. They value certain things, like teaching, and so they pay a minister, and music leadership, and help with youth ministry, and so they get help in those areas too. And then they have some programs. And they also want a building to facilitate many of these ministries, and so have hydro bills and maintenance fees. So each person should prayerfully consider what is right for them to give in their own situation. And all of this will help them be Jesus' people of salt and light in our community and world. And so, where does the money come from? Well, it comes from them and you, 100%. With the exception of a bit of money from people who rent the building, 100% comes from you. Look around you. The people who call this church their home are totally supporting it. That's how it works.
As my faith has grown, I have come to realize more and more that everything that we have is God's, and we are simply the caretakers. Now I try to live my life by considering what do I need, and then sharing the rest as God has encouraged us to do in Matthew 6:21, which includes our church. And of course, as a member of the stewardship committee, all of this is brought home when I see the expenses, etc., and I realize the importance of this financial support. All of this is easy to say and hard to do, but something that I'm really striving for. And remember, you never see a U-Haul behind a hearse.
So prayerfully consider your stewardship in all areas of life, and also with financial stewardship. For where your treasure is, Jesus says, there your heart will be also.